Chapter 7. Henry. I don't think I've ever worked through a book this quickly in my life. Flipping to the next tab, I read the parts that Hallie has highlighted for me in blue, ignoring all the parts she hasn't. When her redhead friend was leaving last night, and Hallie drunkenly slurred she had something for me in her purse, I wasn't sure what to expect. When she returned, she handed me the book she'd borrowed, explaining she'd read it and highlighted all the parts I might find interesting or relevant. I'm already halfway through the book when she finally wakes up, jolting up in bed, clutching the duvet to her chest. I watch as a dozen questions hit her all at once. Her eyes widen, teeth nibbling at her bottom lip as she considers what to ask first. "Hello?" I say, breaking the silence between us. She swallows hard, and I nod toward the bottle of water and painkillers I left next to her. With one hand keeping the duvet pressed to her body, she collects the pills and drink, quickly taking them. When half the water is gone, she replaces the lid and stares right at me. "Did we have sex last night?" I double fold the tab for the page I'm on and put the book down in front of me. Pointing to the half-deflated air mattress below me, I meet her stare. "No." "Do you promise?" "I'm on an air mattress that definitely has a slow puncture, Hallie. Why would I have sex with you then not sleep beside you?" "That isn't an answer, Henry," she says. "Yes, I promise we didn't have sex last night," I say. Her shoulders relax. The tension in her face begins to disappear. "I don't have sex with women who have more alcohol in their system than any other fluid." "If we didn't have sex," she clears her throat, "then why am I naked in your bed?" "You didn't want to leave with your friends, and I was worried about you not being able to look after yourself, since I know you live alone. I wanted to put you in the empty room next door, but Maddie took someone in there," I explain. "So I found my air mattress and brought you in here." She takes another drink from the water bottle. "Yes, but why am I naked?" "I don't know. I went back downstairs because you left your purse in the den, and when I came back upstairs, your clothes were gone. I offered you something to sleep in, and you told me no." Her eyes widen again, and while she has whatever internal crisis she's having, I recap what I just said to work out what was the thing that triggered it. Finally, long after I've given up recapping, she speaks again. "You saw me naked." "Oh, there we go. I've seen a lot of people naked." "You saw me naked," she repeats, but I don't think she's talking to me. Friends sometimes see friends naked. It's not a big deal. "It's a big deal to me that you saw me naked. People don't see me naked." She has no reason to feel insecure. People are missing out then. I wanted the joke to boost her confidence, but it doesn't land. At all. Her cheeks flush pink, and she goes back to looking unhappy. I don't want her to feel bad, but sometimes when I open my mouth, I just make things worse. "Do you want to see me naked to even things out?" She laughs at that one, but that one wasn't a joke. "As glorious as I'm sure it is, I'll pass." God, you must think I'm so embarrassing. I'm so sorry. Drinking is a new thing for me, and I think I overdid it again. Can you stop apologizing for everything? It's really unnecessary. I don't think you're embarrassing. "I bet the place is a mess after last night. I can totally help you clean up if you want me to, or I could get everyone breakfast." "No, that's silly. I can just get out of your hair so people don't know I was here." "You don't have to do anything. You're not in my hair. People already know you're here." "Aurora checked to see if we wanted breakfast, but you were asleep and I didn't want to wake you. Plus, it's lunchtime now, and I think everyone went out." "It's lunchtime? Oh my God. I never sleep in this late. I'm so sorry." I watch as she starts to spiral, and I'm beginning to think maybe she's never woken up in someone's bed before. So I don't point out that she just apologized to me. Again, this is a bigger deal to you than it is to me, I say before she can say sorry for anything else. I like that you're here, and I'm happy you came to the party. You're not the first naked drunk person I've looked after, Hallie. You're not even the first naked drunk person this week. You really don't need to feel embarrassed. It isn't embarrassing. I think I'll just grab my clothes and get out of your way. I really appreciate you for being so cool about this. We're friends, I say. Have a shower. It will help you feel better. The box of stuff is under my sink and clean towels are on the rack. She nods, but doesn't move. When nothing happens, she smiles properly for the first time since she woke up. Could you maybe, cover your eyes or something? I know you've already seen it, but I might die if I have to do this sober. Oh, shit. Yeah. I lean back against my near-empty mattress and press the pillow to my face. As soon as I hear the shower turn on, I get back to my book. Henry? Yeah? Could you pass me my dress, please? Do you want to wear something of mine? You seem to be pretty against nudity, and your dress doesn't do much to combat that. I'm not exaggerating. I nearly choked on my drink when I saw her in her tiny, shimmery mini dress. I'm used to the floral dresses and the cardigans. I overheard her tell Aurora that she borrowed it from Cammie's roommate. It seems like she's made more friends recently, which makes me happy. Judging from the groan that comes from the bathroom, I think she's embarrassed again. I'm a big fan of the dress and you in it, I add. You just might be more comfortable in my clothes. She goes quiet for a moment. If that's okay. I grab her some sweatpants and a t-shirt from my clean laundry basket and pass them through the gap in the door. Thank you. When she finally reappears, fiddling with the band of my sweatpants, she looks much better than she did when she woke up. Let me help, I say, waving her over to where I'm sitting on the bed. Putting my feet on the floor, I move her between my legs, taking the sweatpants string and attempting to unknot it. She's patting the ends of her hair with a microfiber towel, and the whole scene feels unusually domestic. You smell really good. She chuckles. Thanks. You're incredibly prepared. I've only ever slept over at Will's house, and even he didn't have toiletries for when I visited. Bad hockey player, bad boyfriend. Figures, I say, finally getting the last knot. I pull it tight so the waistband clings to her hips and tie a bow to keep it in place. He wasn't a bad boyfriend. He was just... I have no interest in hearing you list the redeeming qualities of your mediocre ex. She snorts, a sound I've grown fond of. I thought you hadn't made that sound before. You're well practiced at it. I shuffle back on the bed, resting against the headboard on the opposite side from where she slept last night. I pat the area beside me, indicating for her to sit down, which she does. It isn't a noise normally in my repertoire. I'm just not used to hearing people talk about Will with such dislike. I think the only exception is my brother Grayson, but I don't think he really likes anyone. Get used to it. Everyone on the team thinks he's a dick. She looks to me at her left, lips curved slightly. Noted. Her eyes flick down between us. Oh my God, you're reading it. Yeah. I'm just reading the bits you highlighted in blue. It's really helping keep my attention. I like the part where you drew the hockey stick, although maybe you should leave the drawing to me. Her small smile has developed into a full grin. She's beaming at me, and I don't know why. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm just so happy it's helping you. She tucks her knees to her chest and rests her head against them. I wasn't sure if it would work, but it's one of the things we've done over the years to help with Gigi's concentration. We found that when the irrelevant bits were stripped away, she was able to process the important ones a lot better. She prefers using audio now, but I thought this might help you. Gigi is my 15-year-old stepsister, by the way. I remember, and got it, I say, taking the book back and running my fingers across the colored tabs poking out the side. She left a Post-it note on the first page with the key to her tabs. Yellow for his struggles and mistakes, pink for his victories, orange for things he'd do differently if he had time again, and green for advice he'd give to players of the future. Not everything in the book was about hockey, not unexpected given it was an autobiography. He talked a lot about his family and things he's done since he retired that I guess wouldn't interest you. I wish all the stuff I don't want to read was filtered like this. Maybe then I'd be able to pass Thornton's class this semester. Oh, I love Professor Thornton. I was supposed to be taking How History Shaped Art with him, but Will asked me to change my class schedule to free up my Fridays for hockey, and I couldn't get Thornton's class to fit. I'm so confused, and I guess it shows on my face because she adds, I've done at least one with him since freshman year. I don't know what's wilder to me. You being asked to change your education for hockey? Or the fact that you like Professor Thornton? Or that if you hadn't changed your schedule, we'd have met a month earlier because that's the one I'm in. I like the idea that we might have still become friends in another reality. She says quietly. I can see why you're struggling with him if you're not a fan of reading widely. His classes are super intense on the front. But honestly, he's a teddy bear. He acts mean, but once you know how to write the way he likes and which academic sources he favors, he's easy. I'm going to take Sex and Sensuality in the 18th Century with him in spring. How have your essays gone so far? I've only submitted one. He said it lacked proper research and attention to detail. She frowns, and 2 faint lines appear between her eyebrows. That's harsh for your first essay. Did you talk to him about it? Yes, I didn't have much of a defense. I wrote about the wrong revolution. She lets her knees drop into a cross-legged position, and her fingers play with the bottom of my sweatpants that are too long for her legs. It's weird seeing a woman wearing my clothes, but in a comfortable kind of way. You just need to know what to look for with Thornton. When's your next assignment due? Tuesday. 2 days. How many words do you have so far? 14. My name in the title. She buries her head in her hands and laughs before looking at me again. You don't make it easy for yourself, do you? I'm only like this for this class, I swear. I'm anxious I'll get it wrong, so I don't know where to start. Let me help you. You're struggling with the research material, right? I can just highlight the relevant parts and you can reference them. Won't that be really boring for you? I ask. I know I want to take her up on her offer immediately. I'm so lost with this work, and I'm not being dramatic when I say I don't know where to start. I was planning to let the panic fuel me tomorrow after I get home from the gym. And do you even have the time to help me? Hallie shrugs. I don't mind. I don't have anything else to do today. I was just going to work on my novel, but that isn't urgent. How is your novel going? Have you found your style yet? I feel bad for not asking her that yesterday. That's something I should have remembered. It's going about as well as your essay, except your word count is higher. I was supposed to work on it last night, but, well, I was talked into coming here by Cammie. But as embarrassed as I feel today, stop feeling embarrassed. It actually makes me feel super inspired. I want to write about people who have all these experiences and are a bit messy. But I think I can't start because I don't actually have any experience of my own. I never do anything, she explains. But maybe by doing stuff, it'll clear the creative rubble, even if I did expose myself to you and also dance with your enemy, which I'm still very sorry for. There are other ways to get experiences than putting yourself in Mason's path. And we can have a friendship ground rule that means you're allowed to get naked in front of me whenever you like, if that helps with your misplaced guilt. There are worse ground rules to have with someone who looks like Hallie. Her cheeks flush pink, but she doesn't look uncomfortable like she did earlier. Do you have a tablet? Yes, why? She climbs off my bed, my sweatpants hanging low on her hips. Because you're delaying us starting your essay by distracting me. I'm going to use the bathroom. You get your tablet, and we'll start, okay? Yes, Captain. I ordered lunch while Hallie read my outline, and by the time the food arrived, she'd already downloaded a dozen PDFs and had started highlighting relevant sections for me to work with. She's lying on her stomach beside me, feet crossed in the air behind her, leaning against her hand, speed reading each thing she's downloaded while I type on my laptop. She makes me stop writing after 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break. At first, I didn't understand and thought maybe she was bored and wanted to chat. But she happily lets me sit in silence if I want to. I don't want to. I've been using my 5 minutes to ask her more about the book she's writing. I won't be reading it unless she highlights the important bits for me, but I really like listening to her talk about stuff. Maybe I will join her book club. It takes us a couple of hours to find the right rhythm, but when we do, everything becomes so much easier. She's intelligent and knowledgeable, and the questions she asks me make me think harder before I answer her. Then she makes me write it all down before I lose my train of thought. When I finally shut my laptop, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. You're amazing. You did the work. I just highlighted stuff. I'm happy I could help you. I really should stop overstaying my welcome now and head home. You're not overstaying your welcome, I argue. I'd tell you if you were. You would? I would tell you to leave if I didn't want you here. You're not a prisoner and you can go if you want to, but if you want to watch a movie with me, you should stay. Hallie sits up on the bed to sit opposite me, and I can't tell if she's about to move beside me to settle or run for the door. What kind of movie? She eventually asks. Horror. My friend JJ's mom texted me a new recommendation last week. I was going to watch that. Not a rom-com then? I sigh. You're just like the others. When my friends' girlfriends lived here last year, they were relentless. I watched so many shit movies. How about we rock, paper, scissors for it? She suggests, holding out her fist. I win, we watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. But if you win, we watch JJ's mom's suggestion, and we both pretend that I'm not crying the entire time. Ready? I hold out my own fist, shaking it 3 times and choosing paper, knowing statistically she'll choose rock, which she does. My hand wraps around her fist, and she pouts up at me. Best of 3? Nope, sorry. We didn't agree on that ahead of time. I reach for the remotes to roll down my blackout blinds and turn on my TV. Are you really not going to play me again? She's still a little pouty. Cute. Distracting. That isn't very sportsmanlike. No. You snooze, you lose. Do you need extra pillows? Blankets? Protective weapon? We're good on the pillow front, and no weapon needed, she says, slipping farther into the bed. I'll use you as a human shield. I scoff as I press play on the movie, fluffing up the pillows behind her head to make her more comfortable. I slide down, too, relieved not to be on that damn air mattress, and I pretend not to notice when she shuffles an inch closer to me. Not if I use you as one first.
Chapter 8. Hallie. There's a large man eating my cookies again. You know I'll just make them for you if you ask me to, I tell Henry, as I approach him next to the snack table in Enchanted. Inaya has her first local author event, and I promise to bake some treats and help set up while she serves customers in the store downstairs. I used to do it for the next chapters sometimes, so I didn't mind offering. You don't need to sneak in here and steal them. I don't have your number. Otherwise, I would have, he says through a mouthful of chocolate chip cookie. Why don't I have your number? I don't know why you don't have my number. Why don't I have your number? Because you haven't asked for it. Why haven't you asked for it? There's something extra cheerful about him today. Playful, really. I cross my arms as he smirks up at me from his seat. Why haven't you gone out of your way to give it to me? Excellent question. His finger hooks through the loop of my jeans, pulling me a few steps closer so I'm standing between his legs. He's not even touching me, and I feel flustered. Henry carefully pinches the top of my cell phone, peeking from my cardigan pocket, and pulls it up. What's your passcode? I pluck it from his hands, swiping up when the Face ID unlocks. I'm not telling you my passcode. I look anywhere but him as he taps away on the screen. That's wise. I definitely do something you don't approve of. When I hear his cell phone start to vibrate, I finally look at him again. Are you here to buy more leadership books? He looks at me like I've just asked him the wildest question. No, I was looking for you. I saw you were here on your story. The idea of Henry Turner looking at my page that is mostly just unhinged book reviews makes me feel perceived in a way I've never felt before. Changing the subject quickly, I say, You're in a good mood today. Is that what my baking does to you, or... He locks the screen and pushes the phone back into my pocket. I'd love to say it's just your food, but it's actually because Thornton loved my essay. Henry leans back in his chair to look up at me. Well, love is extreme. I'm not sure he's capable of an emotion that strong. I wasn't expecting anything back so quickly, but I think maybe Coach made an inquiry about how I was doing. Anyway, he liked it. I came by to say thank you for your help and bring you something. He reaches beneath his chair and produces a bouquet of daisies. Oh my goodness. Standing from his seat, he tilts it in my direction, gesturing for me to take it, which I do. Henry pushes his hands into his pockets and shrugs. I don't know what you like. Anastasia said sunflowers and Aurora said peonies, but I remembered you have a pink dress with tiny daisies on it, so I thought they might be your favorite. I might start crying. He senses it. You're giving me the look. Please don't start crying. I deal with crying women so much more than I ever expected to, and I'm still never sure how to react. You're the first person to ever buy me flowers, Henry, I admit reluctantly. They're happy, nearly tears. I promise. He sits in his chair again, eyebrows pinched. I'm sorry. I lift my nose from the bouquet. What for? For being the first person to buy you flowers. That's okay. Hey, what did we say about apologizing unnecessarily? He pins me with a look that suggests I shouldn't use his own words against him. It really is okay. Will thought they were pointless because they die, which I suppose they are, really, but I still have a weird weightless feeling in my stomach. And you were right. Daisies are my favorite. It isn't okay, but I'm glad you like them. I've somehow managed to make the sweetest gesture awkward by revealing that I was in a relationship with someone who clearly wasn't invested. Is that harsh? To assume someone isn't invested just because they don't take you on dates or buy you flowers? Maybe. I really like them, and I'm proud of you for getting on Thornton's good side. For now. He's already given the next assignment. I can't help but laugh at the unimpressed expression decorating his face. You look enthralled already. He huffs and sits back in his chair, reaching across to pull the one next to him closer, gesturing for me to sit. Do you want me to help you again? No flowers required if you pass. I take a seat, resting the bouquet between my knees while he considers my offer. Do you have the time? The honest answer is no. Probably not, but I'm not going to tell him that, especially since he's maybe the first person to ever ask me if I have the time. Everyone else just assumes. My Nana used to say it was a tale as old as time. She understood because she was also the oldest girl. She knew what it was like to be labeled the helpful one, the reliable one, the third parent. It's the reason she was the only person who put Grayson in his place for not helping more. This goes above that. Henry's my friend, and I do want to help him. I just need to reshuffle some of my other commitments. He looks so unabashedly happy right now. During the time we've spent together recently, I haven't seen him act like that before. It might be my favorite. Of course I have the time to help you. When do you want to start? My instincts are telling me to put it off until the very last minute, but judging by that very judgmental look on your face right now, that is not the right thing to do. I do not have a judgmental look on my face. I am judgment-free. Always, if you say so. Tonight? You are allowed to say no, Hallie. Henry insists. You do not need to change your plans if you're busy. It's not that. I just need to bake a cake. One of the girls I work with has a birthday tomorrow and she forgot to take a vacation day. I normally work tonight, but they convinced me to switch to tomorrow so we could have a little birthday party in the break room. I said I'd bake the cake. Behind Henry, customers for the event start to appear from the staircase. I recognize them from book club. Whatever they think about Henry and me sitting close together talking, they don't say anything as they take a seat in the front row and give me a small wave. So tonight is a pass, and you're working tomorrow. What about Saturday? Surely the captain of the hockey team has something better to do on a Saturday night than study, I tease. I know their first game of the season isn't until next week, so this is his last weekend of sort of but also not really freedom. I'm sure there will be something loud and busy happening. It'll happen whether I'm there or not. I honestly kind of hate the parties sometimes. It takes me a long time to recover from all the noise and socializing. Saturday it is then. Do you want to come to my place? It'll be quiet, and I promise I won't make you do a keg stand. You don't even need to talk to me if you don't want to. I like talking to you more than I like talking to almost anyone. Yes, that'd be good. I'll text you when I'm done at the gym. I can pick up dinner. Far too many seconds pass without me saying anything. More people begin to filter in and take their seat, and I'm almost certain my cheeks are bright pink. I offer Henry a nod, swallowing hard. Sounds good. I think I should probably greet people now instead of giving you all my attention. Do you want to stay and watch the panel? It's a very interesting book about a serial killer. Tempting. But you're the only person I like listening to talk about books. And I have hockey practice in 15 minutes. Oh my God, go, I squeak. You can't be late. He stands slowly, clearly in no rush. Yes, Captain. Talk to you later. I whisper a bye as I watch him steal one final cookie and stroll away just as Aurora appears at the top of the stairs with her friends, Amelia and Poppy. I watch her eyes narrow as she watches him walk past her, telling me she didn't know he was going to be here. When her eyes leave him and land on me, immediately spotting the flowers still in my hands, her face breaks into the biggest smile. I have a feeling she isn't going to want to talk about serial killers today. I'm losing my third fight with eggshell fragments in my bowl when my cell phone lights up on the counter. Henry's face stares back at me because when he added his number, he also took a selfie and changed my background. Wiping my hands on my apron, I swipe at the notification to open it. Henry Turner. Ate too many cookies and nearly threw up on the ice. Offended that you're blaming my baking. Have you considered you might just be out of shape? No. I can show you if you like. I'm good. I'll take your word for it. How's your cake? Being victimized by eggshells but otherwise okay so far? Want help? Do you know how to make a cake? I don't know how to do a lot of things. Doesn't mean I'm not good at it. That's the most confident non-answer ever. Are you not tired from hockey? Exhausted. What's your address? I stare at my screen for at least 45 seconds before typing out my address for him. As soon as I hit send, I immediately start to panic, scanning the chaos I've created in the kitchen and mentally recapping the mess in the rest of the house. It was fine when he was coming over in 2 days because I had 2 days to make this place look presentable, and now I have, 15 minutes at most? It's not a total disaster, but I'm not confident there isn't a bra or a pair of panties somewhere they shouldn't be. It takes me 7 minutes to sprint around the house, scanning for stray items, and a further 4 to clear up the random Tupperware littering my counters. It would have taken me less, but Joy followed me into every single room. I don't blame her. She's probably never seen me move so quickly. When Henry knocks on the door a minute later, I'm still wondering if I've done enough. He looks me up and down lazily as I pull the door open. "You're very sweaty," is the only thing he says. I want to tell him it's because I've been running around my house like a woman possessed, trying to ensure he isn't going to be hit by an errant piece of lace when he walks into a room, while also trying not to fall over a cat. But I don't. "The kitchen is hot with the oven on," I say. "Come in." I notice the sketchbook tucked under his arm before I notice the gray sweatpants, and for that, I feel like I deserve some sort of praise. I follow him through the doorway and he takes a seat at the breakfast bar, opposite where I've set out all of the ingredients. Joy looks up from her bed in the kitchen and immediately makes a beeline for Henry. "You're not allergic to cats, are you?" I ask, instantly relieved when he shakes his head. "Good, because she loves affection." She looks so tiny when he picks her up, and she rests her head against his chest. I watch as he takes in the room, eyes scanning shelves and surfaces as he strokes her. "I'm glad I knew your grandmother lived here before you. Otherwise, I'd be seriously questioning your interior design skills," he says casually, turning his attention back to me. Oh, I don't mean to say it out loud, but his tone just caught me off guard. I've always known the house is dated, so it shouldn't be a surprise, but I guess I'm not used to having new visitors. My mom brings it up every time she visits, but I'm reluctant to erase Nana's choices. "That was rude," Henry says quickly, rubbing the palm of his hand, not cradling Joy against his jaw. He clears his throat. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that." "It's totally fine," I say instantly, slipping my apron back over my head, double wrapping it around my waist, and tying it extra tight, like somehow that'll help squeeze out the knot in my stomach at the thought of this house not feeling like hers anymore. "You're right. I should definitely decorate." "You don't have to tell me it's fine, Hallie." He stands and walks around to my side of the counter, reaching for the bow tied at my side and tugging the loose end until it unravels and the apron strings fall. "I try really hard not to say things I shouldn't, but sometimes, like when I'm tired, it's harder to keep up with thinking about what I should say, not what my brain automatically wants to come out with." The apron molds to me as he pulls the strings to the base of my spine, not too loose and not too tight, and ties it into a bow. "You don't have to filter yourself for me. I know you're not being mean. You just say what you think." "It can be exhausting," he admits, returning to the spot in front of me. "But so is seeing the look on my friend's face when my words hurt them." "They didn't hurt me. You are right about it. It's kind of a weird, long-winded situation." He returns to his seat and Joy tries to climb onto his shoulder. "Give me the speedy version." I start mixing the ingredients again, concentrating on my hands. Speedy version, okay. It was my dream to go to college in New York. Senior year of high school, Nana had a fall, which scared the shit out of Mom. Nana was old and stubborn, wouldn't move closer or accept hired support. Mom was terrified every day, and I wanted to help, so I offered to move in with Nana to look after her and go to UCMH. I had already applied anyway as a safety choice. I got in. Nana bought Joy. I nod toward the cat asleep on him, then look back at my hands, to celebrate us being roomies and keep her company until I moved in. She got really sick and died right before I graduated high school. That's sad. Hallie, why didn't you go to New York if it was your dream? I shrug, wondering how I can avoid mentioning that there was a part of me that wanted to stay closer to Will. Henry doesn't like it when I bring up Will, which is fair because neither do I. I think it would be weird and complicated to try to explain how grief made me rely on him emotionally more than I ever had before. I was grieving and didn't have it in me to change my plans again. My mom inherited this house and said I could still live here and redecorate it however I want. At first, I was hurting too much from grief to want to change anything, and as time has moved on, I don't really have the time or the resources to redecorate a house by myself. There are a few things I definitely would change, but I kind of like living among all her weird, mismatched things. Makes it feel like she's still here. I'm sorry I was rude, he says, and I wish you didn't have to put everyone before yourself. If you ever decide you want to change those few things, I'll help you. I'm very good at painting. I don't think you were rude. I don't put everyone before myself. She was probably my best friend. Living with her would have been fun. Although at the time I did worry about her wanting to go to frat parties. Would have absolutely annihilated everyone at beer pong, I bet. I just miss her, Henry. I'm not sad because of what you said. Promise. He nods and is quiet for a little while. The silence of the kitchen feels peaceful, not awkward, and I almost jump when he talks again. Do you have an apron for me? The idea of watching Henry putter around my kitchen in a floral apron, edged with frills, immediately replaces all other thoughts in my head. On the back of the door, and wash your hands, please. The corners of his mouth tug up. Yes, Cap. He kicks his sneakers off and places them neatly next to the back door before returning Joy to her cat bed. After he's washed his hands, he grabs the apron. I divert my attention from watching him to scanning the recipe book in front of me. My Nana's familiar cursive sweeps from left to right, and out of all the things in this house, this old falling-apart recipe book is my favorite. I think it's only fair I tell you I've never baked anything before, Henry says, leaning against the counter beside me. But I'm confident that my ability to be good at most things will also apply here. Most things? What are you bad at? I'm not telling you that, he says instantly, mainly because I can't think of anything. I was trying to be humble. I appreciate the honesty, but I don't think we can mess this up. We just need to stick to the rules and follow the recipe, and all should be well. He scoops some buttercream I've mixed with his thumb, licking it off slowly. Following rules might be on the list of things I'm not great at. Well, you're lucky I'm a habitual rule keeper. He sighs, but he's smiling at me. I'm smiling back, trying not to start laughing, and I don't even know why. Weird use of the word lucky.
Chapter 9. Henry. Turner, my office. Coach yells into the locker room. There's a chorus of "Ooh" from my teammates, which I ignore as I walk past them all in the direction of Faulkner's office. Take a seat, he says, not looking up from whatever he's writing. I watch his untidy scribble mark the page over and over before he eventually stops and sits back in his seat to look at me. That's the thing with Faulkner. He couldn't make it clearer that he does not give a shit about anyone's time but his own. How do you think things are going? He asks casually. I think I wish JJ and Joe were still here, I say honestly. But I think we're in a much better place than we were. Matthews and Garcia are working hard. I've talked to both of them. I think we'll be okay next week. Okay or great? Because I need you to be great, Turner. I want to let out a loud, tired groan, but I don't. I hate this side of things. Of course I want us to be great. The entire team wants us to be great. It's almost like if I don't hit the buzzwords, then I'm not doing things right. Why does it matter if I say okay or great? I want us to win, and so does everyone else. I think we will be great, I say back, apparently hitting whatever benchmark of enthusiasm I'm supposed to. Happy to hear it. How are you getting on with your classes? Did Nate have to answer these questions? Probably not. I doubt Nate's ever failed a class in his life. He made balancing hockey, studying, and having a relationship all at the same time look easy. Great, I respond, remembering that okay doesn't cut it. Rocky start, but I listened when you said to do whatever it takes, and someone is helping me now. That's what I'm doing tomorrow after I do my workout. I have an assignment due on Tuesday. He runs his hand through his non-existent hair, not picking up on my hint that I want to leave. You're paying a tutor? I think Hallie would make a great tutor. She's so patient and soft-spoken. I can't imagine her ever getting irritated when someone can't work something out. Not quite. She's a friend. From your class? I've seen her doodles. I'm not sure she'd make it through a fine art BA. No, she studies English. I'm confused. You and me both, big guy. How can she help you? She's done Professor Thornton's classes before, so she knows what he's looking for, and she makes the research material more accessible for me, making it less overwhelming to face, I explain, repeating how Hallie worded it to me when we talked about it again while making the cake. And what are you doing for her? Faulkner asks. I don't know what he means, and whatever expression my face has twisted into is telling him that. If she's doing all this work for you, and she isn't a paid tutor, what are you doing for her? I think about it for a little while before finally answering him. Nothing. I bought her flowers to say thank you when I received good feedback on my essay. We're friends. She's a nice person. He says. And that little noise maybe guts me more than him barking my name. It's the noise people make when they're about to say something I haven't considered. Then I spend the rest of my day mad that I didn't consider it. Make sure you're not abusing her kindness. You don't want to lose your friend. You don't need distractions this year. That's all, Turner. Enjoy your weekend. Abusing her kindness plays on a loop in my head as I exit Faulkner's office. The locker room has emptied out now, my teammates eager to get their Friday started. Russ is waiting for me in the lobby, smiling at his cell phone. I think maybe I need to use my savings to buy myself a car instead of relying on him. Am I abusing his kindness by getting him to give me rides everywhere? I give him gas money. You okay, man? Russ asks as I approach. Do I give you enough gas money? Russ slow blinks twice, nodding his head. Surprise, maybe. Yeah, why? I don't want to abuse your kindness. He stands from the bench, his eyes narrowed as he stares at me. You're not, at all. Where is this coming from? Faulkner. Do you think I'm abusing Hallie's kindness by letting her help me and doing nothing for her in return? He rubs the back of his neck awkwardly. I honestly don't, since she offered to help you. She seems like that type of girl, you know? Rory has been borrowing her notes for years, apparently, and she runs the book club and other stuff. I think she's just one of those people who is generous with their time. She's your friend, right? Friends help each other. You're still doing 99% of the work, dude. I don't see how it's any different from if you joined a study group and you guys shared stuff. Don't let Faulkner get in your head. She is my friend. I really like her. I just don't want to take advantage of her. I hadn't even thought about it until he mentioned that she was getting nothing in return. I should have thought more about her when she offered. I was just so relieved to have one less thing to worry about this year that I didn't take the time to think about it. We climb into Russ's truck, and he rolls his eyes at me as he slips the key into the ignition. I really don't think you need to take advice about friendship from Faulkner. Try talking to her when you get there. Maybe there is something you can help her with, and then you both win. I just want to be a good friend to her, I admit. You like her? As more than a friend? Russ asks carefully. I like being around her. There's something about her that I'm drawn to. Something about her that makes sense to me. She's so calm. Being with her doesn't drain me. Does that make sense? Russ nods, pulling out of the parking lot. It does. Talk to her. At least she'll know you're thinking about her, even if there isn't anything she wants from you. I rehearse what I'm going to say in my head for the rest of the drive. It's not until I'm standing at Hallie's front door with a bag filled with Chinese food that I forget everything I've been rehearsing since I saw Faulkner yesterday. Hi, she says softly as she pulls the door open. That smells good. I immediately notice something is off about her as I follow her into the living room, dropping the bag of food onto the coffee table and putting my tablet, sketchbook, and laptop next to it. She looks the same as usual. Glossy lips, thick, dark eyelashes lined with black, a glow to her cheeks. Loose blue jeans, a white camisole with buttons up the middle, the lace of her bra peeking out at the top, finished with the thick, oversized cream knitted cardigan with stars on the elbows I've seen her wear a few times. The cow slippers are new, but still feel oddly appropriate for her. But there's something not right. Hallie knocks her laptop closed as she passes it, throwing herself onto the couch on the opposite side of the room. The device snaps as the lid closes, making her cat jump up and move to circle my feet. I catch Hallie force a smile when she spots me watching her. That was aggressive, I say, taking the seat beside her, trying not to fall overjoy. Wait, she says, interrupting herself. I'm not apologizing. It was aggressive. You're right. It wasn't intentional. I don't believe that it wasn't intentional. Are you hangry? I didn't mean to be so long. I've been trying to actually complete my workouts this year instead of goofing off at the gym. She twists on the couch to look at me, pulling her knees to her chest with her head resting against the cushion. That's okay. I'm not hangry, but maybe we should eat before we start working. That way it doesn't go cold. Hallie is good at diverting conversations like Russ is, which is why I think there is actually something wrong. I'd like it if you told me what's wrong with you. Something is clearly bothering you. It's silly, she whispers. I don't think anything you say is silly, I whisper back. She rests her head on the top of her knees. Do you have siblings? I shake my head. Only child. You're lucky. No, I don't mean that. I love my family, but sometimes... She tugs at the sleeves of her cardigan and shuts her eyes. Sometimes they make me feel like I'm losing my mind. It's like nothing can happen without my intervention, and it's so fucking tiring. I thought it changed when I moved out. But if anything, I feel like they're worse. Like, how is that possible? And they don't care what I'm doing when they call, or even consider that I might be busy and doing something for me. When her eyes reopen and she looks right at me, I don't know what to say to make her feel better. Keep going. It's just boring drama, Henry. We should eat. Tell me. When Will broke up with me, I promised myself I was going to do things for myself. This writing competition was supposed to be that thing, and I was so excited. And I feel like a broken record, but I'm not getting anywhere with it, and it's making me frustrated because all I've ever wanted to do is write books. And I can't even do something for an amateur competition. I'm going around in circles, and then my stepsister calls because she's had a fight with my mom. Then my mom calls to tell me her side of it. Then my youngest sister calls because she's upset that everyone is fighting. When I'm finally done being mediator, I can't remember what plot idea I was developing in the first place. Not that it matters, because it's all weak and it's impossible to make strong because the ideas aren't the problem. I'm the problem. She looks like she's about to burst into tears and is doing everything to hold it in. I hate it. How are you the problem? 5 words that cause her face to sink. Because I haven't lived, Henry. Oh. I want to write about a relationship and experiences that I've never had, and it shows. I have these moments of clarity, and it's like the sun finally poking through the clouds after a storm, and I feel unstoppable. I write something, then I get to something simple that shouldn't be hard, and it's like I don't even speak English anymore, and I delete it all. I stare at my screen, and nothing happens. Because nothing happens in my life. Experiences. Hallie talked about having the experience when I interrupted her with Mason, but I didn't think much of it. But Will, she huffs, and I regret saying his name instantly. Our relationship made sense on paper, but not in reality. I was never in love with him. We didn't even go on a date in the whole year we were together. We just hung out with his friends or our families. Our relationship changed in title, but it never felt like anything progressed romantically. I'll take you on a date. Henry, no, she says, panic seeping into her voice. I wasn't hinting that I wanted you to take me on a date. I was just venting. Ignore me. I'll get through it. Honestly, it's totally fine. Let me take you on a date. You need the experience to write it in your book, right? I say calmly. Let me help. I can't ask that of you, she says quietly. Technically, I'm asking, I argue. You want experiences, and I want to pass Thornton's class. So let's help each other. I don't want to take advantage of your kindness, Hallie. Let's make things even. You're not taking advantage. I like helping you, she argues back. And I'm going to like taking you on a date. I've been on a few dates before, and I've never had the strong desire to go on more, but something tells me that this will be different. The pink flush of her cheeks returns. What will people think? I want to say that I'm sure my friends already have bets running on what's happening, but I don't, because I don't think she'd take it very well. She feels embarrassed about the smallest things, and I think that would be one of them. I'm trying really hard to think before I say something that might make her feel that way. I don't care what people think. It's none of their business. But your friends will be jealous they didn't ask you out first. She chews on her lip, thinking hard. What if they think we're dating? Do you always worry about what other people think about things that have nothing to do with them? Yeah, I sort of do, actually. Is people thinking we're dating worse than not achieving your goal? Her eyes widen, and she shakes her head frantically. Oh my God, I'm not worried about me. I'm thinking about you. I don't want to mess things up for you. You have a lot on your plate. You don't need to worry. Go on a date with me, Hallie. Live. Her bottom lip juts out while she considers it, and I just watch her. The slow way her eyelashes brush against her skin when she blinks. How shiny her hair is when she tucks it behind her ear. Her big brown eyes staring at me. The way she's actually smiling even as her mouth moves. Her mouth is moving. Sorry, run that by me again? I don't want to be a burden. If you don't have the time, we stop. Promise? Yes, Cap? She rolls her eyes. but I sense her begin to relax. She lets go of the death grip she's had on her legs and removes her chin from her knees, letting her legs cross in front of her. I slide a little closer as she pulls out her phone, tilting it so I can see her open a Notes app. I fight the urge to point out that she hasn't changed her phone background from the picture of me in the bookstore. I watch her type "rule book" in bold letters along the top. Okay, what do I need to write down? Nothing. We don't need a rule book. Of course we do. Number 1, you have to be honest with me if you're too busy. Hockey and school are more important than inspiration for my silly book. I take the phone from her hands and huff. New number 1. We have to be honest with each other about how busy we are, and you have to stop belittling things that are important to you by calling them silly. She reaches to take the phone out of my hand, but I move it out of the way. And number 2, you have to stop being embarrassed around me. You won't be able to tell me what you need for inspiration if you're embarrassed about everything. I've seen 4 of my friends naked since you, by the way. This time, she snatches the phone out of my hand, typing frantically. Number 2 continued. We are not allowed to talk about the fact you've seen me naked ever again. I try to take the phone back, but she holds it in the air out of my reach. Number 3. If you want to date someone and our arrangement is uncomfortable for them, we can end it straight away. I don't want to ruin your chances with someone. Delete number 3, I say before she's even finished typing. People who don't understand our friendship don't get to stick around. I have the same rule for people who have an issue with my other friends, so you can't argue. New number 3. Since this is for my benefit, I pay for everything, she says, squeaking when I snatch the phone from her hands. Delete, I grumble, tapping at the delete key aggressively. Hallie moves onto her knees, leaning across, mumbling my name in a disgruntled fashion. My arms are longer than hers, so all her attempts fail. New number 3, I say as she admits defeat and sits back on her legs. Finance is reviewed on a case-by-case basis. I'm paying for our dates and other stuff. But if one of your experiences is that you want to go to Bora Bora on a private jet, you can pay for that. What if we fly coach? A grin spreads across her face, and I know she's kidding. I can fly you coach to anywhere in the surrounding states. She laughs, and it's a sound I've grown to really like. If you whisk me away to Reno, I may simply fall in love. There's rule number 4, I say, adding the number to our rule book. You can't fall in love with me. You're going to want to. Anastasia tells me I'm very lovable, and the more time you spend with me, the harder it'll be. Now she's really laughing, and I feel so relieved that I've managed to improve the sour mood she was in when I arrived. I couldn't fall in love with my actual boyfriend, so I'm pretty sure I'm incapable of it anyway. Yes, but he's a dick. I'm not. She pins me with a look that I can't decipher. She looks both annoyed and amused. As bad as Will Ellington is, I bet it's hard for him to know she never loved him. Like I said, very lovable. Okay, Mr. Very Lovable, she sighs, gently taking the phone out of my hand. She maneuvers onto her butt, her body pressed up against mine as we sit side by side. I watch her fingers as she types number 5. Our final rule. Henry must break Hallie's heart if she falls in love with him. Hey, it'll even double as a new experience. Give me plenty to write about. You sound unusually happy at the prospect of heartbreak. And you sound unusually confident that you're going to be able to melt my ice-cold heart, she says, locking her cell phone now that our rule book is complete. There isn't anything about you that isn't warm, Hallie. She doesn't say anything at first. She just watches me. Her face 10 inches from mine, and her body still pressed against my arm, taking slow and steady breaths. You know what isn't warm anymore? She says, quickly standing from the couch. Our food, I'm going to go and heat it up for us." And with that, she disappears into the kitchen, takeout bag in hand, leaving me to wonder what exactly it was about Will that she couldn't love.
Chapter 10. Hallie. It takes one Google search to confirm with certainty that misogyny is alive and well in the world. My first date, experience with Henry will be starting any minute, and it suddenly occurred to me as I waited in my living room, possibly looking like Miss Honey, that I don't have any idea how to go on a date. After Henry and I confirmed today would be the first day of our partnership? Scheming? Shenanigans? Whatever we're doing, I made the choice not to tell anyone. I do honestly feel like that's the right decision, but it's forced me to consult the internet for advice rather than a person like Cammie or Aurora. So when I typed "how to not mess up a first date," links to articles by self-declared alpha bros wanting to share their wisdom were the first to appear. Thankfully, I don't have concerns about being a low-value woman, so I was able to swiftly move on to slightly less toxic results. I'm reading an article about how to keep the conversation flowing when Henry texts me that he's on his way. His looming arrival is enough to make me panic more than the alpha bros ever could, and I'm suddenly reevaluating all my choices. Henry Turner, 10-minute warning, leaving my house now. Not too late if you want to change your mind about this. I know, I haven't. What are you wearing? I think you're supposed to save the questions for the date. I just don't want to be overdressed. Impossible. This conversation is very unhelpful. I'll make it up to you later. There's a ridiculous grin on my face when I lock my phone and catch my reflection in the screen. My phone buzzes again, and I swipe up automatically, not realizing it isn't Henry until I read the message. Will Ellington. Have fun on your date. I choke on air so loudly that joy jumps. I haven't heard from Will since we broke up a month ago, and this is not the first message I was expecting to get from him. I mentally run through all the options, from psychic abilities to phone cloning, before eventually realizing the answer is my mom. When she called earlier to talk to me about Thanksgiving next month, I was desperate to get her off the phone so I didn't have to tell her I wouldn't be coming home. I wasn't exactly lying when I said I had to go because I was getting ready for a date. Given my cowardice and, honestly, my desire not to have to manage other people's feelings and reactions about my own breakup, I still haven't told them. Will Ellington, have fun on your date. I will, thanks. Not even curious about how I know? Nope. Your mom told mine that we're going on a date. Can't believe you still haven't told them about our breakup. If I think about it too hard, I'll be upset that the first time I've heard from Will in weeks is because I'm going out with someone else. He hasn't once checked in to see how I'm handling things, and even now his attitude is weird. I shouldn't engage, but I do. Will Ellington. Neither have you if your mom called. You can tell them when you introduce them to the guy that isn't me. LOL. Can't wait to meet him. Smiley face. I really shouldn't engage. Will Ellington. You already have. Smiley face. I put my cell phone on Do Not Disturb so I can't be jolted by Will's name flashing and throw it into my purse. By the time Henry is knocking on my door, there's no telling where the weird nerves in my belly come from. It takes all my powers not to let my jaw drop when I open the front door and spot Henry, standing there in a suit and white shirt. Holy shit. He looks really good. You're staring at me, he says calmly, really intensely. I haven't seen you in a suit before. You look really good, I admit. he doesn't respond to my blatant ogling and reaches into his inner suit pocket, pulling out a folded piece of paper. "I was going to buy you flowers, but I already did that last week, so I brought you this instead." The last thing I'm expecting when I unfold the piece of paper is a drawing of me. I'm in my kitchen, smiling as I lean against the counter, surrounded by mixing bowls. "Henry, when did you do this?" "I sketched it while I could see you, but I didn't finish it properly until today." Henry was doing what I thought was doodling while we waited for the birthday cake to bake. But this is not a doodle. "You are so unbelievably talented. I love it. Thank you." "You're welcome. And you look really good, too." "Ready?" "Let's do it." If Henry noticed my restlessness on the drive to the restaurant, he didn't mention it, which makes me think he didn't notice, because I definitely feel like he would mention it. The second I saw the suit, I realized we weren't going to somewhere like Blaze's Diner, and I was right, because I can't even pronounce the name of the restaurant we're in. My heart stopped a little, and it took every bit of courage to quietly whisper to him while we waited to be seated that somewhere like this is probably super outside of my budget. In true Henry fashion, he shrugged and said, "It's a good thing the rules say you're not allowed to pay then, isn't it?" I've been staring at the menu for far longer than is necessary, the luxurious paper a barrier between me and the man in front of me. I've never been short of words before, but maybe Date Hallie is quiet and mysterious, or boring, depending on which way you look at it. After another few minutes of me staring at the sea bass description, Henry clears his throat. "I'll happily sit in silence all night, but I don't think that'd be a good date experience for you. Are you okay?" I lower the menu slowly and reluctantly. I think I might be nervous. Henry doesn't look nervous at all. He looks even more calm than normal, like he's comfortable in a setting like this. I feel scared to touch anything in case I break it, but I'd bet that he's accustomed to going to fancy restaurants from his grandma's list. He takes a sip of his water and leans back in his chair. "Does Joy miss me?" Easy answer. Of course she does. I asked could we get a cat. Turns out Robbie is allergic. Devastating news. You can visit her any time. She's a big fan of yours. I'm not even exaggerating. Ragdolls are clingy and affectionate anyway, but she has really stepped it up for Henry. I get that a lot. I'm sure you do. Even more now that you're captain, I'd bet. He shakes his head and picks up a roll from the basket. We're not talking about hockey. Tell me about your book. Did you finally pick a plot? I did, finally. I wrote a whopping 300 words before I had to shower for our date. He looks genuinely happy. Tell me about it. Are you sure? He nods enthusiastically. Okay. It's a dual timeline book where the present is a guy watching a woman walk down the aisle from the front of the church, and the past is watching them meet for the first time and the relationship that follows. It's a really up and down relationship, but they just keep being drawn back to each other, probably across several years. It'll show all their best and worst moments until in the present, she reaches the front of the church. And what? He asks. The book ends with them getting married? We're interrupted by the waiter taking our order, and the fact that I'm eager for him to disappear again so I can tell Henry the end of the story is how I know I've picked the right one to work on. No, it doesn't. That's my big twist. The whole time he's watching her walk down the aisle to get married to someone else. Henry is quiet for a moment, tearing off pieces of bread and looking pensive, until he eventually talks again. Anastasia and Lola are going to lose their shit if there isn't a happy ending. Henry talked about his friends' girlfriends and their love of rom-coms when we watched the horror movie together. I can't help but laugh, because losing their shit is the reaction of most readers I know. It's only a fiction competition, so it doesn't need a happy ending. I want to write something that has romantic elements, but I also want it to stand out. I think having a bit of a twist at the end will set it apart from other entries. I think it's realistic that two people in love might not get their happy ending. I'm surprised you think that. You give hopeless romantic energy, he says. I think I always had myself down as a hopeless romantic. The things I read, the music I listen to, the movies I watch, etc. I guess who we think we are and who we are can be different. I don't understand the point. Of love? Is this the part where the handsome playboy reveals he doesn't believe in love? Are we that cliché? Henry smiles, and it really invokes a feeling in me I haven't quite gotten used to yet. You think I'm handsome. Are you flirting with me? I'm not even sure I know how to flirt, so no. You can practice on me. How generous of you. Come on, playboy who doesn't believe in love, tell me more. I laugh, but the heat is creeping up my neck. Nobody needs to witness me attempting to flirt, especially not him. Henry rolls his eyes, but he's still smiling. You watch too many movies, and I'm not a playboy, and no, I do believe in love. I just don't value it over other types of love. There are people in my life I love. I love art. I love my parents. I watch my friends love each other. I just don't see what the big deal is about romantic love. Everything seems more complicated when people fall in love with each other. Sometimes complicated is exciting, I guess. I imagine, at least. People value romantic love over platonic love or familial love every day, he says. I didn't really understand platonic love until I met Anastasia, and now I think I'd rather have that with someone. I look at the art people have created on the basis of being in love with someone, and it's never the emotion I feel. I can't think of anyone I platonically love anymore. What do you mean? If you made a piece of art, a picture, I'd look at your choice of medium, the colors you chose, your personal style, your skill level. I'd see a landscape, or a person, an event, or whatever you wanted to create, but I'd feel something else. People paint people they're in love with, and I feel the lust, the longing, the joy, the sadness. It's a physical manifestation of someone going, look at how in love I am. But I don't believe people can look at a painting and see love. I can see friendship, though. It's hard to explain. Remind me not to paint you anything. I have a feeling you're a harsh critic. Our food arrives, and we fill the silence with a mix of questions about my book, life, and family while we eat. By the time our desserts, plural because Henry ordered multiple when we couldn't decide, arrive, I realize all I've done is talk about myself. Are you avoiding talking about yourself on purpose, or, I ask, taking my first bite of cheesecake? He leans over with his fork, stealing the top corner. I like listening to you talk. Well, I like listening to you talk. Where are you from? Where did you go to high school? When did you realize you could draw? Did you have any pets growing up? What's your favorite color? Where would you have studied if you didn't choose UCMH? I don't know. Tell me something, mystery man. At no point in any of the articles I looked at did it say, start interrogating your date at the dinner table. But I feel totally self-absorbed right now, so we're going off script. I grew up in Maple Hills, and I went to Maple Hills Academy from kindergarten to senior year. I don't know exactly, but I'm told my kindergarten finger paintings rivaled Picasso. My parents put me in a creative kids program after school. We did different things, and I learned I liked basically everything. No pets, because my nanny was allergic to almost everything. I don't have a favorite color. I'm trying not to visually react to the idea of Henry in a Maple Hills Academy uniform. It's a private school not far from the hotel, and I see the kids after school sometimes when I'm driving to work. Little Henry in a blazer and tie sounds adorable. I don't believe you don't have a favorite color. You're an artist, for God's sake. Adults don't have favorite colors, Hallie, he says, stealing another piece of my cheesecake. I push the plate slightly closer to him, but he pushes it back and stands up. Saying nothing, he moves his chair beside me and sits back down, moving the plate between us. And Parsons. But everyone told me I'd regret not playing hockey if I didn't go to UCMH. I wouldn't have, but I was scared of moving to the other side of the country and trying to make friends. But you make friends so easily. I wish I'd said it in a calm, normal way, especially since he's close enough to me that his leg is resting against mine. But no, it comes out all high and scratchy. Sorry. I just mean, you have so many people around you now. And you befriended me. I had no friends freshman year. And I didn't have close friends in high school. People were nice to me, and I had acquaintances and teammates, but I preferred to be by myself. I sometimes mirror new people by accident, but I can't maintain it. He pushes the final bite of cheesecake toward me on the plate. Being around so many new people is overwhelming. I stayed with my parents a lot, because the guy I shared a dorm room with used to watch his TV, laptop, and phone at the same time. There would be different sounds blasting constantly, and I felt like I was going to lose my mind. What changed? Nate and Robbie. They're like an old married couple, and they treat everyone like they're their children. They grew up together, and Robbie had a serious accident and Nate's mom died. So I think they trauma bonded. Now they act like they're everyone's dads. They let me live with them, and it gave me space to adjust and learn how to process college. He reaches for the next dessert. And JJ too. But I guess he's more like an irresponsible uncle than a dad. That's really nice, Henry. I'm happy you found your feet. He pushes the strawberry on top of the tort to my side of the plate, a gesture born from me telling him strawberries are my favorite fruit. I told you, platonic love is more effective. My fork sinks into the strawberry. I think you might be right. The car ride home is the same comfortable quiet as the one there. He tells me he's thinking about getting his own car, so he doesn't abuse Russ's or Aurora's kindness by borrowing one of theirs. I tell him I doubt they would ever think that about him. When I'm finally home, Henry hovers close behind me as I rummage around in my clutch for my keys. When I finally find them, unlock the door and take a step inside, he doesn't move. Are you not coming in? He shakes his head. I'm being a gentleman. Do you not want to be a gentleman inside? I want to. But you should send the guy home at the end of a first date. A date and advice. I'm getting the full Henry Turner treatment tonight. Henry looks like he's about to say something, but stops himself. Not quite. He leans forward and my heart stops. His lips press against my cheek gently, and I'm not confident I'm breathing fully. He moves back, the hot sear still present on my skin. Good night, Hallie. Good night, I say as he walks away. But it once again comes out as a whisper. When he's climbed back into the car and driven off, I lock the door behind me and take a look at the drawing of me propped against a photo frame in the hallway as I pass it. After getting ready for bed, I climb under the duvet with my laptop, with the Great British Baking Show playing on my TV. I create a new chapter and start typing.